Yo, welcome to 2020. This will be the first video for 2020, the new decade, the new year. Hope you guys will look forward to this, and hopefully I stay a little bit more consistent this time around. Last year I only uploaded like 45 videos, and normally I would like to aim at least one video a week, but I don't know what actually happened. I think it was just pure laziness. I'm a little afraid of maintaining consistency this year because I'm going back to school for a master's degree. Not sure if I'll drop out, but this particular replay has been requested by Metaphysics, and not sure why. You already watched it when Crota casted it, and Crota casted it like 2-3 weeks ago, so I did watch that video briefly just to see how he pronounces the second Night Elf player's name. I have never casted this guy before, and he does have a Liquipedia page, so that's at least something. Zihaitun spawning in as the blue Night Elf player on top right. Zihaitun, I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but his page so far has just been like low to mid tier tournaments, mainly the IFANG Cup, which is I guess China's version of Zotac, but hasn't really stepped into the major leagues, WGL, Golden Cup, or Golden League, whatever it's called. Nothing of those sorts, so curious to see how he does. Priestess of the Moon obviously has been spotted a little earlier, and he does seem to prefer this more over the conventional stuff. His opponent, Foggy, a lot more well known. Haven't really heard too much about him recently. Foggy hasn't really been cited in major tournaments, I don't think, in 2019. After his really breakout year in 2018, where he got second in WGL. I don't think I've heard too much about Foggy in 2019, and I don't think I casted all that many games last year for him, so yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, probably I have, since he likes to tend around Netease ladder anyway, but yeah, not in terms of tournaments at least. Priestess with the Owl Scout start here, which is rather odd. We did see this in the last game with Lin versus Loliet, but in that matchup it made sense because the Owl could just keep tabs on the Blade Master, who can win walk anytime in the game, and it's pretty pivotal to keep track of the Blade Master, who is such a high impact all game hero. Meanwhile, in this matchup, the only reason I could see having Owl Scout is either, you want to be scouting old times, which I guess might be the case. I don't know, it just seems like a lazy reason over like True Shot or Searing Shots. The other reason is probably we might see it here where the Owl just keeps tabs of Shadow Melded archers, and you can see here, rather than Shadow Melding, Foggy is forced to actually retreat his archers, which is not something you would see if the Owl Scout wasn't actually present. Now obviously, there could have been probably a surprise scenario where the Priestess holds on to the Owl Scout until Foggy decides to Shadow Meld. Then he can just pop the Owl and maybe get a couple of cheap kills, but not in this case, I guess. And so far I don't think the Priestess has killed any archers so far. Demon Hunter, on the other hand, was able to pick up an archer himself, and is already level 2. Might not want to fight the Tree of Life there. Is just going to be TPing back home with the TP staff. We do have mass huntresses so far for Zihaitun, as he is going to lose one of those huntresses thanks to those archers there. Archers, despite taking quite a beating from those huntresses, still do quite a bit of damage back, and Foggy is now tier 2, his Hunter's Hole is on the way, and I imagine we should be seeing Dryads here for Foggy. Otherwise he's just gonna go straight into Mountain Giants, which is fine, I guess. Huntresses don't really... they don't do enough damage to kill off those Mountain Giants, I don't think. But Dryads, I would imagine, would be probably pretty effective. At least a lot more effective than Archers would. Since Unarmored doesn't exactly take extra from normal, meanwhile Medium does. And they're a lot more mobile than Archers are. But yeah, this would actually end up awkward in Dryad mirrors if this were going to be the case. Beastmaster second is an interesting second pick, especially as a Night Elf player. Of course, we normally see Beastmaster second in Orc matchups, at least in the olden days, where Orc burrows were a lot easier to kill in mid-game, since Orcs didn't exactly have access to fortified defenses. But in this case, in a Night Elf mirror, the Quillbeast is... I'm not too sure about it. Obviously, they do piercing damage, and Feral Beast should do quite a bit to those Huntresses, but in that essence, maybe Panda Brewmaster might be probably a little better with Breath of Fire. It's really weird because even then, Pandas become obsolete once you transition to Dryads. I'm not even sure if Zihaitun's gonna transition into those guys, since +1/+1 armor is being researched for the Huntresses themselves, which we have seen in the last game. Lolad going... I don't think he went full 3-3, he went 3-2, but that did indicate that he was gonna permanently stay with his Sentinel units, the Huntresses and the Archers. So this is a little bit reminiscent of that. You can see there the focus fire of those Archers do a huge amount of damage. So here comes the first Dryad of the game. It seems like TD Skull is going to be channeled here, as Huntresses trying their best to snipe down a little bit more Archers before retreating. It seems like 2 Huntresses for about 1 or 2 Archers. Not that great of a trade for Zihaitun, to be honest. He did burn the TP Scroll as well. True Shot Aura obviously has to be the second ability. I'm not sure whether or not Owl is still a good ability at this point, but I guess retraining at level 2 is kind of wasteful, I guess. It's a little weird because Foggy with his Mass Dryads should just steamroll those Huntresses. We are actually at 1 Ancient of Lore, however, so that is a bit different. We're going Dryads and Archers, which honestly I wouldn't even be disappointed about. Archers fairly good regardless. They can always transition a late game with Hippogriff Riders, so they're never truly obsolete. It's just it's weird with this mixed focus because Foggy is going +1 attack upgrades for those Dryads. Right? Dryads? No, Archers. Okay, so those Dryads will be unupgraded. I'm not sure if Foggy's gonna continue producing Dryads. Yeah, it's a little weird still. Beastmaster hits a level 2 after clearing out the Goblin Lab on the left side here. Might get interrupted, but no, the high ground is going to thankfully hide the pre-cam attempt from Zihaitun. Foggy is going to actually choose to engage this with triple illusions here. Archers and Dryads need to be careful about the bouncing glaives of those Huntresses, as we do have the Scroll Protection being utilized there for the Blue Knight Elf player, and the Beastmaster actually manages to get surrounded by those Huntresses, forcing the Beastmaster to get picked up thanks to the Zeppelin, but you can see there that the collateral damage from the bouncing glaives is a little bit too much for the Dryads and Archers to deal with. Yeah, this is really awkward for Foggy to be in. as we do even have glaive throwers being added to the mix here. So glaive throwers will patch up the weakness versus dryads, and of course just outrange archers and dryads to the like. And yeah, I mean, I was talking big game about how dryads should be able to match up very well versus huntresses, but you can see there that the sheer number of huntresses just it wasn't really a fair fight, I don't think. Despite Foggy and Zihaitun being at similar supplies. Yeah, the bouncing glaives just do a lot of damage. Looking at upgrades here, I guess the extra bounce is a tier 2 upgrade because he does not have it, and he honestly probably should. The extra bounce on those huntresses can definitely go a long way, and it should just be worth taking to tier 2 just in case. Potentially having access to a second hero, or just transitioning into double ancient war units. But here we go here. Wisp is also being brought over, which is a bit interesting. The detonations are not going to really affect those dryads. It's basically there to affect the Demon Hunter, and needs to be careful not to get rid of the scope protection armor. But you can see that with the glaive throwers just being untouched and just free hitting, wiping out those units. Searing Shot is going to be utilized there from the Priest of the Moon. We do have also True Shot or a level 2, so I mean that's just huge damage buff from the coming in from the Priestess. Unfortunately, it seems like Zihaitun actually lost equally staggering amount of units compared to his opponent as well. Beastmaster needs to be careful. He does have a health pot just in case. Wisps. 9 of Wisps are here to actually detonate the Cool Beasts. I guess that is another reason why they were brought over, but yeah, numbers are pretty low on both sides. Zeppelin doesn't actually have any units inside it either, so 38 versus 28. Zihaitun actually, since he is mass producing off of 2 Ancient of Wars, he is gonna quickly replenish his units. And Foggy on the other hand, I guess he does have 2 production buildings as well, but Dryad's Archers apparently not seeming to fare well versus Huntress's Glaive Throwers. Priestess about to hit that level 5 as well. That is the upside of going single heroes here. Demon Hunter is at level 4 as well as the Beastmaster at level 3, so not bad in terms of levels, but the volatility, I guess, of Zihaitun's army comp is kind of scary. Because, like, I don't really think that Foggy's comp brings much surprises, aside from the fact that it paired pretty even in the last fight, so that did kind of surprise me a little bit. I think that was just because of how solid Demon Hunter is as a hero himself, but I honestly really don't know which factor to point the finger at.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Regardless, Foggy is at 39 versus Zihaitun's 48. So yeah, if Foggy engages, he would very much lose because last fight was pretty even with just even supply, but this time 10 supply difference is going to be gonna matter a lot more, I guess. And these glaive throwers, I mean, Warcraft doesn't actually track stats unlike Starcraft, but these guys should have a good number of kills under their belts. As the Dragon Camp is going to get cleared out on the right side here, item is going to be Giant Belts. Okay, I could have sworn that the Drake actually drops a lot scarier of an item like a Dragon Egg or Furball Talisman or something of the sort, but +6 strength, I guess it's nice for the Beastmaster. It's not entirely a game changer, so we will have to see. Demon Hunter needs to be careful not to get focus fired here, as he is being right now. Is gonna eat health pot. The moon walls are kind of out of mana as well as just being destroyed in general, as we are just gonna have the backline of Foggy getting wiped out, I guess. We do have a healing scroll being used there, but the Huntresses are still pretty good in terms of numbers, pretty low in terms of health, but I don't think Zihaitun's actually going to mine, as he did just hit that level 6 priestess. Or level 5 priestess. Units still trying to flood in through here as reinforcements. Beastmaster struggling to stay alive. He does have a health pot, but no moonwalls are available left. Foggy actually only with his tree for his supply, which is not something you see all that often. You would think that Foggy is an orc player at this point, but he is only at 10 supply limit, so he has to quickly rebuild his moonwalls, otherwise he's just gonna get completely outmatched by his opponent, because yeah, his opponent at least has his infrastructure intact here. Demon Hunter also at level 5, so it's pretty crucial power point for himself. Level 5, level 6 is the Demon Hunter's best moments, because that's when he hits number 1, his meaningful stats at level 5, and of course level 3 mana burn, which is nothing to scoff at. And then level 6, it's his Metamorphosis, which just completely makes him a one-man army. But yeah, Priestess very close to that level 6 as well, which I'm not sure how impactful Starfall is compared to Metamorphosis. Obviously it destroys armies if it goes for the full channel. The only problem is, like, Foggy doesn't exactly have that big of an army anymore, and that's mainly due to the fact that Zihaitun took down most of the moonwells of Foggy, and Foggy is gonna have to rebuild, spend most of his resources trying to rebuild the moonwells that he's lost. Yeah. I believe all the glaive throwers got killed off as well, so I mean,
I stand ready.
I wouldn't mind seeing more replacements. Those glaive throwers really did the job this game so far. Foggy does have the Thunderhawk in the air with a level 4 Beastmaster, and yeah, it is the bane of those Huntresses, air units. What can you do, to be honest, aside from just making those archers, which it seems like is going to be the option here from Zihaitun. As we do have level 6 Priestess. She does have level 3 True Shot Aura, but I'm pretty sure she got that level 5. I'm fairly certain Starfall is the ability, but there's not that many units to actually hit it with. Dryads obviously don't get hit by it at all. Starfall probably is less DPS compared to just auto-attacking with searing shots on the side. Beastmaster needs to be careful here. He doesn't have a health pot anymore, as he is going to get pulled off in a pretty good time. Huntress is going to get picked off there thanks to the Dryads, and the Archer picked off by the Demon Hunter. So Demon Hunter also very close to that level 6 as well. I'm a lot more scared of a Demon Hunter with ultimate than his opponent with Starfall. He is going to use it to try and harass the base a little bit, but is it going to be meaningful damage? I don't know. There comes the Demon Hunter here with a couple of free kills. Is going to eat a little bit of those stars, and that is a bit of a problem here. Moonwells are of course out of mana, and Priestess just going to go for the full channel, it seems. Is going to take down the Ancient of Wonder, and might even take down the Altar of Elders if she is lucky, as oh, Starfall actually hits Dryads? Okay, that's interesting. I actually had no idea it hit Dryads. either way, that was a pretty good Starfall, all in all. I completely forgot that Starfall hit buildings. I absolutely did not know that it hit Dryads regardless of spell immunity. Demon Hunter just, I believe he is a single kill away from that crucial level 6, but his base is going to take a bit of a hit while he is trying to recoup at the Fountain of Health. Yeah, it is a bit of an awkward game, it seems. Moonwall, despite being repaired by a single Wisp, is just going to get taken out thanks to the bouncing glaives of those Huntresses, as armor supply is pretty even at 28 versus 27. It's just that Foggy is losing his base. It is a bit of a problem. Zihaitun not even attempting to go for preparing for a second base, as it seems like both players are going to lose their gold mines very soon. I believe 10 seconds they will lose it. But yeah, I believe Demon Hunter hit that level 6, so Demon Form is available. Archer somehow got killed off despite being in shadows. I'm not going to judge. Priestess needs to be very, very careful not to get surrounded here because no TV scroll, and if Foggy's attentive, he can just maintain that surround through that invulnerability. All he needs to do is hold position rather than like attack move command, but Priestess is able to run out just in time. Gold mines have collapsed on both sides. I mean, Foggy basically spent most of it rebuilding his moon walls, which is a bit of a feels bad. Nature's Blessing is being researched just so that the Trio of Ages can move over to a gold mine. I believe it's going to be in the middle since this is going to get cleared out first. It's a lot harder to defend, obviously, since it's a lot closer to his opponent's base as well, but who knows, maybe the Demon Hunter with Demon Form is enough by himself to just prevent his opponent from fighting back. There we go with the Demon Form there. Chaos damage, splashing, auto attacks, no Orb Venom, but I don't think it is going to be necessary. Frenzy Beasts, Thunderhawks, it's just the likes of these is too much probably for Priestess to handle. Thankfully she does have access to Moonwalls. Tree of Life is going to get destroyed. That was a pretty quick destruction in fact. Demon Hunter is such a scary unit. Like, he doesn't actually have any meaningful items aside from the +4 agility, but yeah, he is laying down the hurt. Moonwalls have been completely wiped out as well, which is a bit of a problem because I would have imagined that the Moonwalls would have been kept for the Priestess to go for a Starfall, but I guess at this point, when you're facing armies rather than hitting buildings, all Foggy needs to do is just retreat, and he would be fine. I believe Foggy is just waiting on the cooldown of his Demon Form once again, but yeah, the Huntresses are not going to let that slide for free. He is going to just go in for a couple of pot shots on those archers. Wisp is going to detonate onto that Beastmaster, which is pretty crucial. It does stop him from summoning more Quill Beasts or Lightning Hawks, Thunderhawks. Okay, here we go here with the Demon Hunter. Priestess completely out of mana, but she is providing that level 3 True Shot aura, which is just so much for those Huntresses and Archers. +6 for the Huntresses and Archers here. Thunderhawk is gonna show itself here, as well as the Frenzy Beast. And this doesn't actually look good for Zihaitun. He's actually going all-in-ish, and I think Foggy won that one. That was really weird. But yeah, you can see that Zihaitun actually played a little bit desperately in the last moments. He just went straight for those archers, but even though he took down those archers, he still has Beastmaster and a very scary Demon Hunter to deal with. So I don't think, I don't think he had the confidence to finish that game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. That was a rather awkward ending, but I think Foggy definitely did have it in the bag. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys again next time.